Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Embracing Power and Potential. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode with my special guest, Veronica. She was so amazing, so definitely go and check that one out. A little life update from me. I have been a busy bee. My new job, I'm absolutely loving it, learning so much mindset, so much networking with incredible people. I am going away for the next week to work again, which is very exciting. Or if you're listening to this in real time, I'm probably back at this point from being away. But yeah, just a lot of things happening. Big move coming up soon, which you will find a lot more about in the coming weeks. But yeah, my life is just transforming and changing so much. So that is why the episode of today is about choosing yourself, because I'm in a season of my life where I'm having to choose myself a whole lot more than what I ever have in my life. And I've had to be a little bit selfish, probably more than a little bit, I would say. And it's definitely caused some friction in my life and in the relationships that I have. And my life is just moving in a new trajectory. And it's very exciting, but it's also very daunting. So I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to this episode in their own way. I'm going to be talking about my experience and what I'm actually going through right now. So I'm going to be very raw and vulnerable with you guys today. But yeah, I hope that you can relate in some way. I know that you probably will, if you've definitely gone through a transformation journey yourself, or just, stepping into new phases in your life. So love you guys, and let's get into it. Welcome, listeners, to Embracing Power and Potential, your go-to podcast where we travel through the realms of personal growth, mindset mastery, and fear-conquering strategies to help achieve your greatest desires. I'm your host, Portia, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this transformative experience. If you're ready to unleash your authentic power and elevate your life, you're in the right place. Join me and our special guests as we embark on conversations that will broaden your horizons and enrich your journey. So, sit back and immerse yourself in these unmatched discussions. It's time to expand your mind and your life. My first point about choosing yourself is that most people are actually addicted to approval, and mostly subconsciously. You may even not even know that you're actually doing it. When you go for big goals or big dreams in your life and your life starts moving in a new direction, whether it's you starting morning routines or starting a new job, that requires a lot more of your time. Going out and starting a business or posting on social media, moving cities or countries, because you're being called to do that. And, everyone has to, I believe, live out their own journey and find what lights them up and go for, follow your gut, follow your intuition. But it's not easy. And whatever it is that you're moving to in this stage of your life, we always subconsciously check if people approve, if our family and friends understand what we're doing, if they agree with what we're doing. We might, subconsciously try to see if they think it's normal what we're doing. But one thing I have learned recently is the people that are going for the big life, we're the weird ones. So it's probably not normal what you're doing, and that's okay. I think that what I'm doing is normal because, I want to live an extraordinary life and do these big things. But to the people closest to me, my family, my friends, my relationships, and my inner circle or my inner world, it doesn't look normal to them because we all have different perspectives, and, that's okay. We're worried if we're going to look stupid or silly, maybe posting on social media. I bet if any of you have posted, you've got that feeling right before, thinking, who from high school is going to see this? Who's going to watch this? And then you may not even post it because you get so in your head. So before we even make decisions, we are thinking of all these things, of what other people are going to think about what we want to do. So in that instant, when you start thinking of all those things, your identity is externally controlled in that moment. And this is when people stay in relationships for too long, when they probably know that it's not in their best interest for their future. When they don't make those posts online that they're being called to make, when they want to spread their voice, because rejection feels so unsafe to our nervous system. So we'd rather do what's comfortable to us and not post the thing, not move cities or countries. Even the way you dress, maybe you are called to your own sort of fashion and be your authentic self, but you just don't, because you don't want to step out of that what people know you as, shrinking your goals to feel accepted. So these are all the ways that I know that I've kept myself small, and I'm sure other people have as well. But we want to take back our power, and it's so fucking hard. Genuinely, I fucking get it. Like, excuse my French, but I know that I do it myself. And you'd probably see maybe on social media, that romanticizing your self-love. And it is so important. My first episode, or one of my first episodes I ever made on the podcast, was becoming your own best friend. And because that was really my self-love era. But it's hard. It's so uncomfortable to choose yourself, because we're all so used to being people pleasers and putting other people and things before us that we feel like we need to, whether it's our parents, our partners, family, friends, because you end up losing people along the way, and you feel like a shitty friend sometimes because you may have so much big goals and you're locked in, and you haven't checked in on, your friends for a month maybe. And you say yes to going out and wanting to do all these things because you want that connection, you want those friendships, but it's just adding more on the calendar. You're already, well, I know personally, I'm already navigating so much: the podcast, coaching business, work, family, friends. I would say that, but I haven't had time to see my friends in months at the moment, if I'm being completely honest. So this is where I'm at in life right now, and I so get it, but choosing yourself looks like losing people, being understood by your friends and family, not understanding why you spend so much time sitting in the office or on your laptop or at work until coming home, until late hours. Disappointing family expectations, not being at birthdays, big milestones, or, maybe it's you didn't go down the path that your parents wanted you to, following in their footsteps in their business, or studying psychology or law, and instead you choose to do your own thing. And I love that the world is becoming more entrepreneurial, and people are actually finding their authentic power and choosing their own journeys. But I guarantee that everyone that you see on social media that has done that, it has not been easy. Feeling lonely is a big one as well. You will have times, I know that I have, where you just feel like no one really gets it, and it is a lonely journey to go towards your big goals. And I'm getting emotional because it's something that just like hits hard for me right now. And you wish that people would see your vision and know that it's like for the greater good of everyone in the future. But it's like right now, I just don't have time for you. And I'm so sorry, but I love you so much. And I'm building my life so we can all have incredible lives, But yeah, not everyone's going to understand it, and it's going to be hard. I would recommend, if you're going through this, to, let yourself feel the feelings. If you need to cry, journal out. And, it's worth having conversations with the people that you love for sure. But also, you just have to be okay with being misunderstood sometimes. and you just have to stop over explaining yourself. And that comes with, when you're choosing yourself, you end up, your identity changes, it evolves, and you do become a new person. So eventually you stop being able to relate with your friends and family, with the people that you've spent so much of your life with, because you've been expanded in your mind. You're talking about new things, whether it's, you've got a community on social media or in person or at work, where you talk big, you start talking about your goals, and maybe people in your world, in your inner circle, aren't there yet. So you start to have different conversations and you relate to different things, and you become a new person. You start making time for yourself, for your habits, creating a new standard for who you want to be, and becoming different. And I know that I've heard this before, and if you are, on a journey with yourself, you have probably heard the saying, oh, you're just different now. You're no fun anymore. And, that's okay. I'm so okay now with being boring. Like, I'm like the most boring person ever, but I'm not, to me. I've got so much shit that I'm doing. I've got projects that I'm working on. Like, I am having so much fun in my life right now. But on the outside, it looks so boring because I pretty much wake up, do my morning routines, go for my run, get to work, come home, eat dinner, and work on my laptop and go to sleep. But yeah, I'm being so expanded in my life right now in so many different ways, and people from the outside don't see that. I wish people would get it, like an inkling of my mind sometimes, in my brain, to see how many tabs we all, and I know all of us are the same, but how many tabs are actually freaking open, and trying to navigate everything, trying to make time for the people you love, but also excelling and wanting to be the best and be good at everything that you do, while also being in a creation mode, like now, recording podcasts, making content creation, and building my courses that I'm building. That needs time, and that needs my soul energy, but then you've also got to make time for your mum, and make time for my grandparents, and there is just a lot. And it's just like, whoa, sometimes. I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but this is just like a very raw episode to let you in on my brain. And I hope that you can relate to it in some way as well. At the end of the day, growth changes relationship dynamics in your life, and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for the greater of your future, and to do the hard things, have the hard conversations, and then get up and do your thing when you are fucking struggling, emotionally, with different things that you have going on in your life, and still showing up as the person that you need to be. Because confidence is built through self-trust, not validation. And that is the beautiful part in it, is when you do start to maybe disappoint people in your life. But the perspective change that I've actually had, and something that I want to share here, if you are going through this sort of thing, or happen to one day be on a journey where, a lot of things are changing in your life, and you have to let people down, I guess, to build your future, is right now I am choosing myself. And it may give you this uncomfortable little niggling feeling for a second, but ultimately that's you choosing your power. And instead of people pleasing and doing the things that anyone else wanted you to do, whether it was catching up with someone or making time for anything else that isn't for the best for your future, you will feel resentful for that anyway. You'll be sitting there thinking, fuck, I need to be doing something else right now. So you're probably not even going to be present with the people that you are spending time with, because you know what you need to be doing. So taking your power back in those moments, and when you are doing the hard thing and choosing to do what you need to do for your future, literally, like, say it out loud, I am choosing myself. And it does feel it feels good, it feels liberating, and it feels like finally you are stepping into who you need to be, and you're not people pleasing anymore. You're not playing small to fulfill other people. You're starting to do you, and that genuinely does feel good. Even though it's hard, it's powerful at the same time. Because a lot of people think that confidence comes before action. You mentally prepare, or you feel confident before going into anything. But usually it comes after repeated evidence that I can survive judgment and still be okay. Or I can choose myself, and after I do what I need to do, I feel good. And it's that the evidence that you've got backed up from choosing yourself over and over again, that's when the confidence comes. And you build confidence by just speaking up anyway, posting, regardless, just posting. Confidence comes after the post, because you think, oh, it's not that bad. I'm not actually feeling that judged, or no one's actually even noticed that I've posted. Just trying anyway, leaving anyway, or just starting, no matter what, just doing it. Because once you leave the relationship, once you start that business, or start that new job, or start your morning routines, the confidence comes after realizing that you can actually do it. Even while being in the most uncomfortable state ever. Transformation is so uncomfortable. My next point is, most people aren't actually thinking about you as much as you think anyway. It's maybe a little harsh, but it's also freeing, especially for people that are genuinely so worried about other people's opinions and what they think. Most people are really focused on themselves, of their insecurities, of their own problems, of how they are perceived, just like you are when you're thinking about their opinions. So it's like the spotlight effect. So basically, it's the idea that we think that people are paying way more attention to us than they actually are. We overthink the outfit, the post, the mistake, the awkward thing that we said that we replay in our mind for the next hour, the way we looked or sounded. And in our mind, it feels like everyone noticed. I'm sure you've been there, where you've had a conversation and you've gone back, and then after, for some reason in the shower, you're thinking about like the way that you responded. And I know that I do it, and I overthink things. But most people are just busy worrying about themselves to deeply analyze you. And this can be so freeing, because half of the judgment that we're scared of hasn't even happened. We're just imagining it. And then that expands, and then we make decisions from that fear. So everyone's too worried about how they're being perceived to actually think about you. And yeah, you might post something and, people might laugh at you, think that you're cringe, or be like, oh, who does this guy think he is? Or, who does she think she is? And I know it's easier said than done, but who cares? Like, genuinely, that is not affecting your life whatsoever. Like, it's just not. So why let it take up any more mental load than what it has to, when you have so much more important shit to think about? And at the end of the day, people's opinions are usually just projections. A lot of judgment comes from their fears, their insecurities, their conditioning or upbringing about how they are meant to move in the world. People will tell you not to do things. Oh, are you sure about that? Because of their own limitations, because they would be too scared to. Someone that lives boldly, that makes big moves, that takes leaps and does what they know that they should do, even if it's fucking scary and terrifying, but you know that it's for your best interest, triggers the shit out of people who have already abandoned themselves. And this doesn't mean that those people are evil or bad, but it does mean that you can't build your life around avoiding other people's reactions. Something that I've learned recently, I guess I've always, something that I've started to take more into consideration now in my life is not taking advice from people that aren't where you want to be. And it sounds harsh, but even your parents, they're telling you what they think you should do out of fear for you to, I guess, maybe live a safe life, or your partners may tell you not to do things so it keeps you closer to them because it's in their best interest. And they might be doing it subconsciously. It's not like they don't want the best for you. They just don't realize what is the best for you. Only you know that. They're just sometimes coming from love. So just be careful about who you are taking advice for, about what, because you should only be taking advice from the people that have already done it. Anyone else, they don't know. And my last point is your future depends on your ability to tolerate being misunderstood. Anyone who wants to build something big, leave the normal path of society or your conditioning from your family upbringing, who wants to create online, become successful, or just reinvent themselves, will be judged at some point. But it ultimately comes down to one question. Do I want temporary approval or the life that I actually want? And this may come with hurting people along the way, not intentionally, but just choosing yourself and being graceful with that, showing people love, but just doing what you need to do with good intention to then, and later, right now, your family might see less of you, or your friends might see less of you because you're building something big, but they'll be able to thank you in 6 months, a year, years time, when you've built the foundations for you to actually live a life that you want to live, and then be able to provide for your family, have great experiences in life with your friends, or be the best version of yourself so that you can lift everyone else up around you. And you might have to be selfish to do that for a while, but you're doing it for the greater good. I know that I am, so I would hope. And I'm sure you are doing that too. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your life becomes powerful the moment you just stop needing everyone to agree with it. And it's going to be hard. It's going to take some grit and discipline and hard conversations and probably some tears. But the cost of choosing yourself is judgment. But the cost of abandoning yourself is regret. So what are you choosing? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Because I know what I'm choosing. So I love you guys so much. I hope that this maybe just took some pressure off of you and your life right now, or maybe save this episode and come back to it when you are in a sticky season in your life and you're trying to navigate so many different tabs in your mind, relationships, jobs, businesses, hobbies, whatever it may be that you need to do to fulfill yourself and live the life that you actually want. But I love you so much, and be kind to yourself. Always be kind to everyone around you. Be graceful with your journey and just spread love, but also be tough sometimes and stay in your power. Love you guys so much, and we will speak in the next episode. Mwah!